Thank you, Madam Chair. And of course, I want to thank Chair DeFazio. And of course, thank you, Chair Hamendi, for appearing today. So we've made significant progress over the past few decades in making our transportation system safer, except our roadways. Fatalities on our roadways actually increased in recent years. In 2020, 38,824 people died in traffic crashes in the US. This is the highest number since 2007. I want to highlight a mind-boggling statistics. More Americans died in car crashes from 2000 to 2019 than the combined total number of Americans who died in World War I and World War II. Speeding is one of the top two causes of traffic crashes. According to the National Traffic Highway Safety Administration, speeding was a contributing factor in 26% of all traffic fatalities in 2019. Chair Hamendi, most jurisdictions in the US set speed limits using what's known as the 85th percentile speed. NTSB has recommended that the 85th percentile speed be phased out. Can you explain what the 85th percentile speed is and why the NTSB recommends it be phased out?
Yes, thank you for that question. And speeding is a significant concern, as 10,000 fatalities on our roads are attributed to speeding annually. The 85th percentile is something we focused on in a number of our investigations, including some of our vulnerable road user reports. What it means is that states, when they're evaluating speed limits and the adequacy of speed limits, they're looking at what 85% of the traffic is traveling at, and then they set the speed limit within 5 miles per hour of that number. Frankly, that method for determining and setting speed limits goes back to the 1950s. So we're setting speed limits based on 1950s era configuration, or what it is not looking at is how our roads are being used. It doesn't look at pedestrians or bicyclists or motorcyclists. It just sets it on an arbitrary number. And what ends up happening is, over time, speed limits increase. So now we have speed limits as high as 85 miles per hour in the United States, which has a significant impact, even more impact, not just on drivers, but on vulnerable road users.
And this recommendation to stop using the 85th percentile speed to set speed limits applies to all types of roadways, correct?
That's right. It's not just on interstates. That 85th percentile applies, it's a one-size-fits-all approach. It's the engineering rule of thumb in the US right now, where they're setting speed limits on the highways just like they're setting speed limits on local roads. Although there has been a move recently to turn that over to local and municipal jurisdiction, which is a good thing.
Yes, thank you. The NTSB has recommended that we use instead what's called a safe systems approach to road safety. This is something that was a prominent policy in Chairman DeFazio's Invest Act. Can you explain what a safe systems approach is to road safety and why that's the recommended approach?
Yeah, in the past few decades, thank you for the question. In the past few decades, we've really focused on education enforcement, which isn't going to get us very far. We need a comprehensive, holistic approach to address road safety and look at how we design our roads, how those roads are designed for use. In the past, we've focused on the design of roads on efficiency, on getting people from A to B, and not for safety and how they are being used. In addition, we need to look at safe vehicles. That's part of the safe system approach, and implementing technology on vehicles that can save lives, like automatic emergency braking and forward collision warning. Certainly, we're not saying education and enforcement isn't part of the holistic approach. It is, but other parts of the system also are critical and need to play an equal share of addressing fatalities and serious injuries on our roads.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I yield back.